Hello Wismods gang, thank you for tuning in for the review of this really cool new flashlight by Rovyvon, the E60 Angel Eyes series. I've already tested it, done some comparisons, quite impressed. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the flashlight, let's see what we get in the box. Obviously we get the instruction manual. I'll show that to you here in a second. With the Angel Eyes, Rovyvon always send the replacement USB-C port flap, the rubber flap, if in case you tear it off and need to replace it. You also get 2 replacement screws that go into the clip. Again, if for any reason you need to replace those screws. And then you also get the charging USB-C charging cable, and that's it. You don't really need more. Okay, so the Angel Eyes E60 is a smaller brother of the E80, their previous and my #1 favorite flashlight. But what they've done here, aside from downsizing and making it about 2/3 of the size of the E80, is they have done some design changes, which are very welcome changes. So let me specify. So this is the E80, and as you can see, the E60 is about 2/3 of the size. So they've downsized. Also, they've changed the construction. So if we look at the E80, and this goes for the E90 version as well, this is made put together with 3 different panels. So top panel, bottom panel, and then top cap or top panel. So 3 different parts that put together this flashlight. What I prefer on this is that the clip goes into the entire section is one piece, right? Whereas this top cap is screwed down, as you can see, with these 2 screws on top, and then the whole tension of the clip goes onto those screws, which I haven't seen any issue, nothing visible or in feel, but this is just one piece of aluminum as opposed to this section which is screwed down with screws. So I do prefer the E60 construction. Another thing they've added is the mechanical lockout, which only works on the main light output, but still gives you access to the UV and the laser as well as the side light. The way I can explain is that the main light is the only one that protrudes and could be pressed unintentionally. This will be very hard to turn on because it is deeply recessed. You have to be intending to turn it on. And by the way, this is on lockout right now. As you can see, the mechanical, meaning the button won't even press down. So it's not like a electrical contact that is shut off. It is a mechanical lock that won't let the button go click in. The UV and the laser still operate. So that's the laser. And for the UV, we need to double press. There we go. There's the UV. And if you're wondering, I am wearing the Proxima PX 19, 17, 20, okay, whatever. It's a Proxima that is homaging the Christopher Ward Trident version, the transparent version. A very beautiful watch by Proxima, by the way. Or some would say by Christopher Ward that Proxima have copied, but either way. The Angel Eyes E60 is, in terms of functionality, it is the same thing, same exact as the E80. The light outputs, the LEDs, everything is identical. Even the laser, both of them have 2 levels of laser. So the only difference between these 2 is, aside from the size factor, the obvious that you get longer run times on the E80 as opposed to the E60. But because this has downsized now, I can see this being used as headlamp, clipping this onto your head, your cap, because this prolonged version also weighs more the E80 does, and aside from the weight, just the form factor and the size of the E60 would allow it to go onto the cap, and it's just much easier to carry, more EDCable, etc. Okay, so here is the modes and specifications. Let me move that out. Rovyvon always does a great job with their instruction manuals. So quick specs: 94 grams, hard anodization, aluminum alloy. It has cool 7000K cool white, 520 nanometer green laser, and 365 nanometer UV light. The peak beam distance is 140 meters, and the battery is, as I said, 2000 milliamp hours, which is impressive for this size. Battery reaches low at 3 volts. Water resistance is IP68, and impact resistance is 1.5 meters. Okay, so on the white light, Echo gives us 10 lumens for 47 hours. But on the side light, what I found very cool and useful is that you get, this is 1 lumen, the first click, and that should run for 245 hours. And that's very, very useful if you're in a survival scenario where you need a light for a long time for your own needs or to be discovered, etc. You can have this on for, what is that, about almost 1 month if you only turn it on during night. So on single charge. Very cool. Then we have low at 60 lumens, 15 hours. We have, and I'm talking about the main light, the white light. We have 200 lumens, 600 lumens at high, and turbo gives us 1500 lumens at 5000 candelas, and that's the one throwing at 140 meters. The UV is 1 watt for the side light, and it is 3 watts for the main light. So from here you get a 3 watt UV, from the side lights you get a 1 watt UV. Laser is 2 intensities, so we have 1 milliwatt and 5 milliwatts of the laser beam. Okay, and you also have battery indicators, very similar to the E80 on the side, right above the USB-C charging port. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, so 25% for each of the lights being lit up, and it stays on for just a couple of, if you're able to see, now it is 75%, because only 3 of them lit up, and then it turns off after a few seconds. Very impressive, great size factor, a very welcome upgrade to their E80 line. I think that I will be now switching and saying that this is my favorite EDC flashlight. They also have in-house competition from the E80, which I just reviewed, and the review is also posted on the channel. You can see the detailed review of the E10 Pro. Awesome light, but they have slightly different use cases. So if you want a multifunctional light, I would say go with this one. If you want something that has more light output in terms of white light, definitely go with this one. This has 1600 lumens of output, plus 2 14500 replaceable rechargeable batteries. So that may be a benefit to you. But if you don't mind recharging and having an internal battery, I think that this one, for my specific use case, is a better option. But I did just call this the best new EDC flashlight so far for 2025, and I still think that is the case. But I just, for my own case, do prefer to have, I don't need a huge light output for an EDC light, and I do prefer to have a UV on the front as well, which the E10 Pro does not, and only has it on the side lights. Okay. So let's go outside, see how this beauty performs. We'll be comparing it with the Olight Arc Pro, which is another extremely cool flashlight, just came out. And we will also be comparing it with the Rovyvon E10 Pro, and then we will conclude on desk. See you outside. Ooh. Now we're testing the E60 from Rovyvon on the outside shots. So this is a very similar light to the one that I have on my chest right now. That's the E80 Angel Eyes from Rovyvon. I'm using side light output to light up because we are almost in pitch dark. Okay, so let's do the main light output. That's low right now. That's the turbo mode. We do have one single reflector on this, so we don't have a spotlight and a floodlight. It's combined. So as you saw there, if you push down on turbo, after 10 seconds it'll step down. So let's wait, it'll soon step down. There we go, it stepped down. So let's do double click. There we go. And that is the max output. It is very similar to the Angel Eyes E80. It's basically the same exact light with some very welcome upgrades and improvements to the build and design, and has a slightly smaller battery inside, but still quite sizable for the size factor of this flashlight. It has a 2000 milliamp hour battery, so that's very nice to see. How far are we able to see? Beyond 100 meters, definitely. There we go. That house over there is about 120 meters from us. I'm not sure that you're able to pick it up on camera, but I am seeing it. Now, strobe warning. We do have this strobe. Now, let's turn that on and add the laser. There we go. That's the laser. And let me make sure that I have the laser on high. So now I'm interested to see how far this laser shoots. It's shooting again about 600-700 meters, no issues, and actually even farther. So very capable laser on this thing. If the low laser goes maybe about 400 meters, even farther than that, but you can't see it on camera, right? Let me put it beside the house again. So that laser is the 5 nanometer now. It's on the strong setting. This is very similar to what they have on the Angel Eyes E80, and also similar to what Rovyvon has on the Arc Pro. And that is now the UV. We only do have one intensity of the UV light output on this, but it's quite good actually. It's not a weak UV. And of course, we also have the UV on the side lights on this flashlight. Let me switch. So one click gives us 1 lumen that should run for 245 minutes. This is plenty to read a map, move around in pitch dark. Then one click takes us to, that should be 30 lumens or 60 lumens. And then this is 180 lumens. And that's quite a strong light output now for, you know, your work light, etc. It's plenty enough to move around. Bottom. You want to be petted? You love daddy too much? Then we double click for red light. That's the low on the red light. High. Then we have strobe. And then we have beacon. And if we triple press, we get the side UV light output. 1, 2, 3. And that's the UV light output from the side. So again, basically the same flashlight as the E80 in a smaller size factor with some improvements on the design and build quality. Not that the E80 is any bad, but this is just a stronger build than the E80. So quite impressed with the E60, given that it is about 2/3 of the size of its bigger brother. Now let's do a comparison between these two awesome flashlights, both flat style, Rovyvon E60 and All-Light Arc Pro. Both of them have 1500 lumens of output. And I guess I should be doing a comparison of a spotlight because the floodlight won't really show it. That there, we can see the dogs running down there. So that's Olight Arc Pro, and this is the Rovyvon E60. Olight, Rovyvon. Both have 1500 lumens. I'd say that they're actually very similar. Yeah, I don't see a significant difference other than Olight seems to have a more defined spotlight. And of course, we are on the spotlight mode right now on the Olight. And Rovyvon does also have a spotlight, as you can see, but it's a bit more faded around the outer circle. But in terms of light output, very similar. Thing is, Rovyvon does step down after about 10 seconds, while Olight is still going strong so far. I think it has 5 minutes of this turbo mode. And is it getting hot? No, it's barely warm. Okay, let's compare to the E60. That's the cool thing about the Rovyvon, is that it has 2 intensities of the UV light output, whereas the Rovyvon only has 1. So let me turn that off. So here is the Rovyvon E60 UV, and that is the Olight, but this is low now. I can turn it up. Okay, so that's the strong output of the UV from the Olight, and that's the Rovyvon. Olight actually has more of a defined, and I guess that's down to the reflector they're using. So on the right, we have the Rovyvon UV, a single output level, and this is the Olight UV, the high output level. The cool thing about the Olight is if you don't need so much output, you can turn it down and use this for much longer period of time. Very nice to see these comparisons. Quite interesting. Let's conclude on desk. So we just tested the E60 on the outdoor shots. It performed pretty much as expected, and I expected it to do the same as their other awesome flashlight, which is the larger brother, E80, or the father, if you will. So the main light outputs are basically identical. It's impressive, though, that they were able to shrink this down to 2/3 of the original size, but still keep the main light output intensities. We have 2 levels of the laser. We have the UV, main light output, side lights. So Rovyvon is very, very impressive and keeps pleasantly surprising us and meeting our expectations. They have added some improvements in the design, as I've mentioned several times already. We do have a mechanical lockout on the main light output, as well as I do believe this type of construction is sturdier and stronger than the original E80 and E90 construction, where we did have this top section screwed down. We also compared it to the Olight, and these two performed very, very similarly. So which one should you get? Depending on your use case, if you're looking for more of a sleek gents type flashlight, I'd go with the Olight Arc Pro or maybe their Ultra model. But if you're a professional law enforcement responder, search and rescue, etc., I do see some additional functionality from the side lights on the Rovyvon, so I would get this in that case. Now, if you're a flashlight enthusiast, I would get both of them, and then I would also add the E10 Pro, which is another new awesome flashlight with rechargeable batteries that you can actually replace. And it has some awesome features. Of course, it has the UV, red light, white light, 2 LEDs for the white light actually, and also 2 LEDs from the front light. So very cool. And all 3 of these were very impressive, and I can recommend all 3 in a minute without a doubt. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you check out the purchase links in the description, and have a good one. Thank you.